You're basically reversing it. You're doing a little bit of Robin Hood. You're going to basically steal from the institutional wealth and say, return that back to the people and bridge the gap and make it so that everyday people have a shot.
1,000%.
All right, what's up, guys? Kris Krohn here. Have it all, and you're not going to believe who I have as a special guest today. None other than the one and only Grant Cardone. Grant, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Kris. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
Dude, Grant, I got to tell you, man, I'm certainly an admirer. There are those that lead the pack and others follow. And dude, you've given some amazing marketing tips, advice, real estate. It's been great for me as I grow my social to watch how you do it. And dude, you're making waves to the tune of billions. It's super impressive. So I just want to thank you for all the mentorship you've provided me, even though this is our first time really connecting.
Yeah. Thank you, Kris. And somebody, I was telling you before the show, somebody sent me a video of you talking trash about me, about my investments, right? And I was like, dude, that's cool. Let's do a show with him, man. and somebody was like, why would you want to do a show with him? I'm like, everybody has the right to have their own opinion. Everybody has the right to chop up. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect guy. I don't have the perfect answer. I'm trying to grow, right? So we're sitting on about $4 billion worth of real estate right now. Fuck, if I'm doing it wrong, I need to figure out how to do it a little better. Maybe I go to 40.
But dude, I want you to level with me because last year when that whole thing went down about, oh man, I'm going bankrupt, I'm losing my jet, I'm losing everything. I literally believed it for that 24-hour period or whatever. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I freaking look up to this dude. How can this be happening? This is crazy. And then when it turned out that, just ended up being more of a marketing thing, I was disappointed. I was like, oh man, wait, were my emotional strings just being tugged on? Was this just a game? Is that really what went down?
Yeah, no. So what happened was, first of all, I was doing an Instagram. We had COVID happened. I was doing Undercover Billionaire, and Discovery Channel killed the show. They said, well, it's over. And I got so pissed off, dude. I just spent 10 days of my life in Pueblo, freezing my ass off, without my family. And I was just starting to get some momentum. And Discovery's like, hey, man, I got bad news. We're killing the show. I said, fuck you guys. I'm going to continue. They're like, hey, you can continue, bro, but there's no cameras here. I was so pissed off. I became like a juvenile. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I end up flying home. The world's coming to an end. 40 million people get let go, literally in the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was insane.
I get home and we're doing an announcement to my staff. I'm doing an Instagram live because I'm scared, man. I'm like, oh shit, we got to start marketing hard now because our business is about to implode on itself. I tell my president of the company, I'm like, bro, we're not going to strap down, bro, because it's getting ready to get ugly. So I went on a big promotional campaign. We were going to promote a marketing a webinar on what to do during this crisis. So I go live like I do all the time, and I start marketing live on Instagram and on YouTube. And the next thing you know, I see one of these pop-ups. One of these punks is like, hey, you're going to go bankrupt. I've been waiting for this shit.
Oh, yeah, one of those trolls.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to fucking fall from the sky, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Swear to God, this is what happened. Oh, yeah, I'm going bankrupt. I got to sell the plane. And then I went on into this whole thing, right? I need to sell the plane. You could probably pick it up for 5 or 6 million. We just sold the plane last week for 33.5. And by the way, I got to sell my condo. I think 2 million gets it done. And the apartments, you can buy them for 10 cents on the dollar. Okay. I'm sitting and I added my kids, you can take them to.
They forgot to leave that part out, man. They only left the desperation and the believability in that thing.
And I can't believe I must have done a good job of selling it because literally the next day I got a certified cashier's check for $2 million for the condo. I had 3 CEOs, one from Ashley Furniture, another one from Shop America, and a third one that said, please don't use my name, that offered me $6 million for the plane. And dude, the whole thing was just it was just me ad-libbing. It was not an attempt to market. I was not to trick people. And my wife was pissed off at me. She's calling. She's like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm waking up to 100 messages that we're going bankrupt.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, that whole thing, it got me. I seriously watched that video hit for as long as it was out there. I'm like, dude, this can't be happening. Dude, Grant is baller big time out there. And, the next day, part of me was relieved, and I'm like, oh, good, this is a hoax. Because in truth, the world, like what the government put us through, what governments have put people through, dude, we're still in the middle of it. We've got more wealthy people rising from the ashes than ever before, but we also got a ton of people that are living in fear. They're living in scarcity. They're living with mandates. And just the world it's nuts right now. And dude, I'm glad that you didn't get actually caught up. I'm glad none of that ended up being real.
Yeah, well, for me to go bankrupt, my finances are so solid. I've been so disciplined my whole life with my finances that, it would be almost virtually impossible for that to happen to me. But I do know that it happens to people that take too many risks, right? We don't over leverage any of our assets. We do probably across my whole portfolio. We have 50%, maybe 52% debt on the entire portfolio. The debt's, most of it's fixed. It's very, very cheap because of the size deals we do. The plane I paid cash for, the helicopters I paid cash for. Hard to go bankrupt when you're not over leveraged.
Well, that must have been why it worked so well, because it just didn't seem to make sense. And I got to commend you on all your awesome real estate. I've transacted over $1 billion worth of single family. We consistently right now are pulling 35 to 50% annual ROIs. We don't use a lot of leverage. But dude, when I look at what you're doing, $4 billion right now in holdings on multifamily, dude, that's really, really impressive. And I got to tell you right now, I mean, I've been working the last several months. I'm getting ready to actually go public with an offering, because for the last couple of years, I've watched how you've killed it with Cardone Capital. And dude, I've been one of your followers. I've loved watching how you connect with people. You keep it super real, very authentic. So I'm just kind of curious right now, if you're at 4 billion, do you have a goal of like 10 billion? Are you doing the same thing? Are you switching up the strategy? Where are you at and where are you going?
Yeah. So the goal is to get on the top 10 apartment owners in the country. I need about 40,000 units to do that. So we want to take the 12,000 we have, get to 40,000. We know we can get there. We have the right people. We have the right connections. I've done enough deals now. I get a look at enough deal flow. I can buy in any market. We have the debt, and I also have a huge following of people that trust me, accredited and now non-accredited, that want to put money in with me. The ultimate goal, though, is not that. The ultimate goal is to raise, we've raised almost $1 billion in cash, Kris.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. My numbers must be a little bit dated, because I think I saw last that you had 650 or 700 million. Yeah. That had basically been raised. And has that been mostly from non-accredited? And, for those that are listening, what's the difference between accredited, non-accredited? Yeah. And why are you going the non-accredited route to give, Joe Blow an opportunity to build their fortune?
Yeah. So a couple things in there. So accredited is, as you know, is anybody that makes 200 grand or more per year and or has a net worth of $1 million less the value of your home. That's the SEC's rules, which means the SEC does not think your personal home, is an asset. They think it's a liability. Otherwise, they would include it in your net worth. Maybe another time for a conversation. So the non-accredited is everybody that owns that has less than 200 grand or makes less than 200 grand a year, which is most people. 98% of the population in America is a non-accredited investor. You grew up as a non-accredited. I grew up as a non-accredited. And today you're accredited, and today I'm accredited. The reason I'm doing the non-accredited is not because it's financially viable. It's because it's the right thing to do. The everyday person, we have a wealth disparity in this country that is just doing this. It's getting further away. Okay, there's two companies on planet Earth, Vanguard and Blackstone, that own $20 trillion of assets each. Those companies, when people talk about wealthy, they think about Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, the Bill Gates. These companies could write a check to all five of those guys right now and not even miss the money. I think most people are missing what wealth really is. There's the lower class, the middle class, the upper middle class, the rich, the wealthy, and then there's super wealthy, those names I just mentioned, and then there's the institutions, these are super, these are $100 billion, trillion dollar companies. I'm buying real estate to sell it to the $1 trillion enterprise. So my goal is not to buy something and get a return for my investors from simply buying something, cash flowing it, and selling it. My goal is to build a portfolio so big that I can go choke somebody out with it.
Wow. Okay. So help me understand this perspective a little bit, because it would be a lot easier for you to go to institutions and get them to stroke a check for the real estate that you're buying. And frankly, it'd be a lot easier, but you're basically opening it up and saying, hey, listen, even if you've been following me on social, whatever, there's a way for you to come and play. You could put in $1,000 and get in on the same type of opportunity that a large private equity firm would want to have a shot at.
Because, and this is good, you got it, because see, once I feed, let's say it's Blackstone or JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs, the whole list, right? Once I feed them, they don't need me. Okay. So what I do is I don't feed them. I don't feed the beast. I don't feed them by getting money from them. What I do is I go, me and you do a deal, Kris, me, you, and a non-accredited base of people that need the opportunity the most, by the way. I'm solving a big problem for America, the wealth disparity problem. So I go to my audience and say, guys, at 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 8,000, 12,000, 26,000, however you want to throw it in, chop it up with me. No fees. We charge nothing for you to come into the fund. Okay. I'm in control of the asset. I get to deal with my friends, my followers, people that believe in me, not some bank that, is constantly probing. And now what happens is I don't become Goldman's bitch. I become their itch.
Wow. Wow.
So,
dude, you just summed it up right there. Yet let me ask you straightforward, like, isn't it a lot harder?
1,000%.
Like that's 1,000 times more tax returns, K1s, reports, filings. Like that's a heavy lift.
I have 3 groups that would stroke me a check right now for the equity on these deals. And I didn't take it. So why would I do that? Okay. Because the people that follow me and want to invest with me are 99.9% of them are appreciative of the investment. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all these other groups, they're not appreciative of anything, dude. This is a white, institutional, entitled group of fucking people that appreciate nothing. These are family funds that no matter what you give them, they are unappreciative. They're doing you a favor. You're not doing them a favor. This has been going on for 40 years, by the way, and it's a problem. Like, so the syndicators, real estate syndicators typically go to a handful of people around the country. It's the same groups. It's a very closed network. It's how the wealthy stay wealthy. It's white, institutional, country club rich. You look great, by the way, bro. You got the freaking, you look good, man. Look, y'all both.
Dude, come on. I've seen your posts. People are like, that's Photoshop. I'm like, no. I think Grant Cardone hits the freaking gym.
every day. So, this is a closed, it's a closed group of people that control everything. And so one goal is I like to disrupt things.
Yeah.
2, I don't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And so, if I was doing business with Goldman Sachs, they would tell me what to do, tell me when to sell, tell me how to buy it, tell me what to call it, everything.
Wow. So I want to ask you this because this is a really fascinating conversation for me. And I think for, all of my people and your people that are listening to this, I think there's a lot of value in this because, there's a reason why the SEC, Grant, has some of these rules is because if you deal with non-accredited people, my experience is that they can sometimes be at times more challenging to deal with. Like, you don't know if grandma's giving you her last $1,000 and then she's going to call and whine to the SEC, and you got to have a strategy for dealing with that. At that same time, I've chosen a strategy with my investors. I've had a dozen funds, but instead of funds, I'm stupid enough to put an individual LLC in place, and I build portfolios with people all over the world. And a lot of people think it's crazy for me to literally start a portfolio every day and buy homes every single day and do the same thing. But I feel the very same way. I feel like the problem that we have in this country is that the system keeps favoring the haves instead of the have-nots. But guys like you and I, when we started with nothing, I started in debt, dude. I started with bad credit. I started with nothing. And I had to figure out how to climb out of that. And I'm glad that I had mentors that showed me the way, but I love structuring opportunities that favor the underdog that basically says, if I do my part, dude, help me give a hand up, not a hand out.
Yeah, 1,000%. Look, I grew up, my mom, I was raised by a single mother. And she was scared of everybody, Kris, the plumber, the roofer, the air conditioning guy. She was scared to go to the grocery store. She was certain somebody was going to rip her off. The thing she should have been concerned about was not being ripped off, but not having a chance at creating wealth. And that's what my mom missed. She was so worried about the boogeyman, and she should have been. She didn't know, right? But the truth is, Americans need to worry more about missing opportunities than being ripped off. And Americans don't understand, guys, the game is rigged. The wealthy get access to all the deals. The kind of stuff that I'm buying, this deal right here is $260 million. Why am I going so big? Okay, because when I buy this is a mid-rise property, Fort Lauderdale, 456 units, average rent's 2,300, 97% occupied, 92% walk score. Starbucks is around the corner, 37 restaurants. I can get a kayak and be in the Atlantic Ocean. Literally walk out of my apartment, get a kayak, and go out to the Atlantic. It's freaking sick.
And dude, by the way, that's one of the hottest markets right now in the country. I mean, I love Florida and Fort Lauderdale. People don't know there's 324 markets that make up the United States. Fort Lauderdale, that's one of the top appreciating growth markets right now, and that's poised to be that way for, the next several years. So it's very, very smart.
Yeah, and so why so big? That deal's $260 million. Who buys it 5 years from now?
So do these large companies. You get to be the itch and they get to buy it from you.
It can't be a doctor or a lawyer or a chiropractor. It's got to be an institution. That deal, I bet you 10 grand, I sell that deal for $500 million. A half a brick.
So your job, you're basically reversing it. You're doing a little bit of Robin Hood. You're going to basically steal from the institutional wealth and say, return that back to the people and bridge the gap and make it so that everyday people have a shot.
1,000%. Okay. I got 12,000 families that rent from me now. I'm going to turn my renter base into an investor base.
Yeah. I love it. Dude, that's vision right there. And I got to tell you, I got huge respect for you. By the way, I've joined you on previous events. And I'm just kind of curious if any of my people want to have an opportunity to learn more about what you're doing, because I believe very much, and a lot of people keep pegging me, oh, Kris, you're the single family guy. They don't know that I own 430 companies and I'm in all sorts of businesses and tech and food and restaurants. And so I love all real estate space. I love Airbnb and I love what you're doing there in multifamily. And so I believe very much that it's important. Ray Dalio says you got to get into 15 different asset classes before you can eliminate the majority of risk to your portfolio. So if any of my people want to come and learn just more about how to get involved with what you're doing, where do they find out?
CardoneCapital.com. Go to CardoneCapital.com. $1,000 gets you in that deal. You can put 5,000 in, 10,000. Average person's putting a little over $5,000 in right now. We've had people put in 50,000. It's open to non-accredited and accredited. The only difference, by the way, is the non-accredited gets a distribution every quarter. The accredited gets a check every month.
Got it. Okay.
The accredited, Kris, has to put in $100,000 minimum.
Yep.
Now watch this. So if you're an accredited investor, you got to give me 100. If you're not accredited, you only have to put in 1,000.
Yeah. So the deal's a little different between the two of them. You got two classes of shares then?
No, same class of shares.
Got it. And then projected ROI, like for these people, what are you hoping? Like no crystal ball, right? But if you had to guess projections, pro forma, 5 years from now or whatever, however you do your math.
My goal is to hit an infinite return, believe it or not. And
okay, you got to break that down for me. I love that. I love the language, but break it down.
So the goal is to refinance this property at the 5-year mark, return all capital to the investors, and keep the asset and as it continues to cash flow, and keep the investors on as investors and not kick them out.
So you're telling me that they can get a return of capital and still stay in on the deal?
They will stay in the deal. Blackstone will kick you out of the deal. You know that.
Yep.
Blackstone they would refinance the property. This is what they did in Miami in 2012. They bought 10,000 condos here, filled them with renters, recapitalized them with debt, kicked out the investors, and kept the asset and the paper.
So what about you? How's this, get specific with me. How's this going to be different for them? Are you going to refinance and give them return of capital and still save something on the deal for them?
Yes, I would keep, let's say you took a 1% position in this deal.
Yeah.
I would send you your 1% back. That would be a non-taxable event.
Yep.
And you would still maintain your 1% position in the asset.
Wait, so you're not even reducing it then? You are one smart, generous disruptor of a dude, Grant. Dude, I love
Then
that.
I'm gonna run for president of the United States because I'm gonna do this 10 million times.
Oh, I love it. Listen, can we, oh man, I would love to take it political right now because we've got such a beautiful jacked up system. It is amazing in the last 9 months how bad things have gotten. It's like, wow, I think that President Biden literally might have won the award. He might have passed up Jimmy Carter for a special award.
He has no award to win. It's his people that I'm confident that the people behind the scenes want to make sure he can never run again. They are destabilizing him. They're going to ruin his political career so he can't run again because they already have somebody ready to go. And it's not her.
Yeah, yeah. So Grant,
they destroyed her too, by the way.
Yep. Dude, it's crazy right now. So, dude, I love your fun. By the way, you gave me a gold nugget today. I'm excited about it because, like I said, I've had a dozen funds in the past. I got a new one putting together. But I love how your goal is to do that return of capital and still keep them in without any kind of dilution. That right there, dude, that tells me everything about you and where your heart's at. And I commend you for that. Super awesome.
I've done that, by the way, with friends and family and employees for, I don't know, I've been buying real estate for 30 years. I've never kicked anybody out of a deal, even though I could. I'm like, why would I kick you out when it just got good?
So is that your big deal is that like your big reason on multifamily? It's just easier to take down bigger property?
If I could buy 12,000 houses, I would.
Yeah.
The returns are freaking great. The cash flow is stupid, but I can't do 12. I mean, the kind of scale I want to do, I mean, I'm closing 4 deals right now. They're $750 million. I'll do that by December 10th this year. And those are 4 deals. Those are almost 2,000 units.
So it's about scale for you.
It's scale.
It's a simpler way to scale. Got it. So
if you can multiply 40,000 units times $25, if I can get 40,000 units, I got 12,000. You can do this on 12,000 or 40,000. My goal is to get to 40,000. If I can raise the rents $25 a month, what is that?
$1 million bucks.
Times 12.
12 million.
Divided by 0.03.
400 million.
There you go. That's all I got to do. Raise the rents 20. Every time I raise the rents $25 on 40,000 units, I make $400 million.
Dang, I got to cut a deal with Grant and put you into some of my fund and get some multifamily diversity and help do some syndication.
Let's go.
I like it. I like it, brother. By the way, do you ever?
Maybe before I go to New York and sell this portfolio, maybe we add all your houses and all your other businesses.
Yep, there's a possibility there for sure. Dude, when's your next 10X and are you going to invite me to speak? How can I create some value?
These people have endless appetite, okay? They would rather do an $80 billion deal than they'd rather do an $800 billion deal.
Yep.
Endless appetite. They do a deal with me, they're going to do another deal the next day.
Love it, man. But answer my question. When am I speaking at 10X?
Oh, we got to get you on the agenda, bro. I got to get you. Right now we got some big names coming. We don't even announce the names anymore. You know that, right?
That's pretty amazing.
It's all surprise guests. Like last year, John Travolta showed up. John's like, okay, so they know I'm coming, right? And like, John's very Broadway. I said, no, John, nobody knows you're even here. And he's like, excuse me? Floyd Mayweather. Hey man, so everybody knows I'm coming in. They know the champ's here, right? And I said, nobody knows you're in the room, bro. Dana White, nobody knows you're here. Like you bring those kind of people on and people are like, oh my God, I can't believe, you brought this year. When I bring in 3 people that I got scheduled, it's like, come on, over the top. Who would those names be?
They'd have to be pretty crazy. But I'd want to see Donald Trump. That's Grant not telling me. Okay. Well, listen, for those of you that have been joining tonight and have it all, we've been enjoying Grant Cardone. Grant, dude, thank you for taking some time with me today. Really enjoyed it. And for those of you that want to diversify in the multifamily space, check out cardonecapital.com, dude. I love Grant's model. I'm just telling you right now, of all the things I've invested in, all the funds that I've done, I'm not the richest guy on the planet, and my jet's a lot smaller than Grant's. But I'll tell you something.
What do you fly?
An Extant 400.
Okay, nice. That's a nice plane, man. All planes are nice planes.
Listen, it is a mega time saver, and at the end of the day, it also makes me money, so I don't mind about that. It's always got to be a smart ROI, period. But for everyone that's listening, the way Grant has put his fund together, I did not understand some of those details. I got to say, I'm inspired, I'm impressed, and Grant, I'm going to give you credit the first 3 times I steal that idea and employ it myself. Thanks.
What is it? What are you going to steal? Oh,
I like the idea of the investors being able to just stay in the deal. I actually do that on my deals as well. You know, for me, I'm always rolling the money forward. So if we are doing a 50% ROI this year, in 5 years, we double the portfolio, we do 100% ROI. 5 years later, we double it again. We're doing a 200% ROI, a 400% ROI. And I love to teach people that once you're in real estate, you never want to leave because eventually the cash flow is going to give you everything that you want. And, but I like the way that you've organized that for the fund. I think it's very, very, very smart.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, Grant, appreciate you, brother, dude. Keep rocking it. Maybe I will be at 10X. And
okay. And thank you for talking shit about me, man.
You're welcome. Well, I'm sure that turnaround's fair play. All right, guys, you've been joining me and Grant Cardone on Have It All. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next episode.